What's up, Dace-tacular Nation? Welcome back to the Dace Man. I am your host, Chris the Dace Man Dace, and joining me to my left, Cheever!
Last time I was going to say I'm naked. I'm half tempted to start stripping now. Give me a few moments.
And tits!
Do you have to?
So I have to say, this is the first time I've had this group. This is the first time for this trio.
This little circle.
Because Squawkers is usually here.
There's no Frank, there's no Gibby, it's a completely different mashup tonight.
We're going to see how this goes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's always times for a first.
I mean, Gibby probably won't say anything irrelevant, so that's a good one.
No, he usually doesn't. Usually, especially like the last couple ones, he's been drunk, and it's
well, he's
it's
usually
like, I
drunk.
want to murder him.
He's been interested. He's
The one I was in Pittsburgh, I think I think I took off the headset when I'm gonna fuck him up. Because he was just drunk. Because he was waiting for the game. And
oh, that's right. I remember that one. That one was bad.
He came home, and then it was just, he was talking over everybody. It was like, Jesus Christ, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that was bad. Because that was when I was trying to do the gaming. Because we didn't know if he was going to make it there or not. And we didn't know if he had anything ready.
So anyway, Black Lightning.
Oh, yeah, that's what he kept doing. It's like, what the fuck? Nobody cares about that.
He's the worst.
Yeah, you got gaming news. Anyway, Black Lightning, I finally saw the first episode the other night.
And, I had legitimate stuff, too, and this motherfucker was talking about the CW.
I mean, well, The Flash had their season finale last week.
Which is, I have
hated
my
it.
thoughts on that. Like,
I'm a season behind.
okay.
Oh, good. You
wouldn't know any of the characters if we talked about them anyway, then.
Yeah.
I've watched up to whatever's on Netflix, which from what I know is only the season behind.
He just walked into the Speed Force, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, the final fight scene.
Here are the spoilers.
the final fight scene, where it was Ralph Dibny and the Flash. All I could think of was the Matrix Reloaded fight scene with
bad.
Mr. Anderson. Yeah,
Bad
Mr.
CGI.
Anderson.
I have to admit, that's the one thing that they fuck up on that show. That CGI is terrible.
What he's referencing to have that CGI from like 2003 be better than this CGI is bad.
But they do need. That's the one thing that is terrible about that show is their CGI
you have
is shit
to tell me
sandwich.
though, that fight scene. Did you not think of that? The Matrix Reloaded.
Oh yeah.
Just because all you just see is just, all right, just Attack of the Clones.
Well,
Let's go to attack.
My issue with their CGI is especially when you see the shark and Grodd and stuff like that. They just look so bad. They don't even look like.
And that's probably the best of what they put out.
Yeah.
Have you seen in the Arrowverse? Probably the best CGI work was Bebo.
Mimo.
Not there yet.
Legends of Tomorrow. Do you watch that?
No.
Legends of Tomorrow. You need to.
It's
Skip
their
season
version
1.
of Furby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
And
they introduced it
does
halfway
it
in the
turn on
season.
by itself?
Well, do you know how you put they always say if you do something stupid in time it'll fuck up everything? Well, Bebo was their biggest fuck up and he was also the biggest payoff of the season. It was like, oh, we accidentally let this toy let loose during the Viking Age. Now Bebo's a god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
the
I
best
also-
aspect of the Flash.
Well, I also got
better
one
copy.
spoiler that I was kind of upset about because I was watching The Flash was Snart.
They left the door open still.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. I just know that he's apparently dead.
No, he's
No.
not dead. He's not dead. He's
Well,
not dead.
when I left, he was dead.
We're on
He's not dead.
Nazi version
Yeah,
Snark.
we're on Nazi version. Oh, no,
When I-
we fight Nazi version.
When they finished that season of The Flash, I was under the impression that Snart was gone. That Snart was dead.
Snart dies at the end of season 1 of Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm just going to flat out say.
Well, I know what I'm
His
saying. That's what I was
character
told.
But they use that parallel shit there's
Oh,
8
do.
so what? There's
Figment
fucking time remnant
Yeah.
Snarts.
Well,
Yeah.
no, not time remnants.
But,
It's
similar.
Figment, in season 2 was Figment of Rory's imagination.
Yep.
Sorry, spoiler alerts.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's the neo-Nazi world version of Snart that's a good guy.
The
And
crossover
dead.
event.
Well, the Legends of Tomorrow Snart is kind of a good guy.
Yeah, but this one's started off as a good guy. He didn't have that journey.
I said kind of. He's not terrible.
He's still a dick.
He's still a dick,
The
but he
puppet,
has
the
good
puppet
intentions.
reconciliation for Rory.
Ah, see.
That was what would you say to Professor Stein? It's just
The problem with Legends Tomorrow is they don't have it's not the same fucking cast they started with.
Oh,
because nobody wants to stay on. Mainly because they all started, whether it be an Arrow or Flash, and they're like, you know what I've been doing this for 7 years, I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, No, they still have Sarah, don't they?
They have a few key ones.
Sarah and
Ray,
Ray
and Rory. Those are
Yeah.
the only three.
And
Which one's
Rory,
Rory?
fire
guy.
flamer.
Snort's best friend.
Yeah.
The
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 flamethrower.
duo, it was ice, fire, and ice.
Oh, okay.
But he's useless. Like every mission, it's like we need to do this. No, and he just walks away. It's like
I'm gonna watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Like, and then just like to hear what's his voice in the movie. They go, wait, that sounds like the guy we're fighting this season.
So
Let's use that, and they just went completely meta.
my
Yeah.
biggest
That was,
biggest issue with the Flash when I left off was what they did to Caitlin. I don't like the Killer Frost thing they pushed on her.
You're gonna hate season 4.
I know, because it gets worse, doesn't it?
You're gonna hate. I'm not spoiling shit.
Well, I
But
just don't like
it's-
how they like.
depends. If you don't like Killer Frost, you'll be happy.
I don't know.
on the ending,
Yeah.
because the season finale they hinted.
I get
at
annoyed
something.
because I just don't like that they're like, we need something to do with Caitlyn. Let's just throw this kind of shitty storyline back at her.
No,
like,
we need to make her more overpowered to
But
give
she-
her.
but she didn't have powers to fucking begin with, and I was okay with that. I liked her not being a metahuman. That she was one of the only ones that wasn't.
Oh, you're gonna hate season 4. We are Team Flash. We
I
are
feel like
Team
all the
Flash.
show's qualities have all gone down.
Yeah.
Except for Legends.
Well,
Except for Legends.
Legends is just ridiculous now.
Also-
It's because they just keep
Also,
bringing new people in just to add to the
Confused
storyline.
the fuck out of myself because I started catching up on Arrow before Flash, and I catch up, and Diggle suddenly has a fucking son instead of a daughter,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
wasn't that kid's name Sarah?
Welcome to Flashpoint.
And then I finally got back into it, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense now. That's why I was so fucking confused.
It's just Legends of Tomorrow has gone so over the top that it's enjoyable.
Because it's just like
it's
a shit
just
show.
over the top.
And
Okay.
Constantine too. Like next
Yeah.
season it's either they're going the D&D route or they're
Wait,
just
wait,
going
wait.
the fantasy route.
They brought Constantine back?
Yes.
Okay, that I'd watch for because in the one fucking episode of Arrow he was in was one of my favorite episodes.
He's peppered in this last season a lot.
He's peppered in at least 4 different episodes.
He was
and he's a key character next season.
I
Yeah,
absolutely
well, they got rid of Rip.
I absolutely loved the one episode of Arrow they had him in, and I loved him in
Well,
that Arrow.
that
episode.
version of Constantine is actually supposed to be canon to the Constantine show.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be the same Constantine.
Speaking of something canon,
So-
remind me about that later, and it's not with.
Let's just say it now.
Well, it's something different from all this. It's
It's
it's with a different
different show.
yeah,
Okay.
a different show. Well, it's
I'm
with
just
another
gonna
movie.
Shoehorn you now. You realize
It's with a movie.
Solo.
No. So did you guys read that the after credit scenes for Deadpool
Yeah.
are canon?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that means
She's back.
she's back.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know. I just thought it was them dicking
It
around.
can't be canon. He
No,
killed Ryan Reynolds.
No.
He killed Ryan Reynolds.
I literally
Ryan Reynolds.
You
kills
killed Ryan Reynolds like, before he
No,
reads
but
Green
him
Lantern.
going back and fixing some things, those are canon. So they asked the director if it was,
Yeah.
and they said that it
You're a
was.
week behind.
No.
By the way.
Well, I was on last week.
So was I, but you're
No,
a week
I
behind.
was.
Oh, you're a week behind.
I already checked the audio, but yeah, no, I didn't know if I had told. I knew I told Mike and all them, but I didn't know if I said something to you guys because I thought it was just them dicking around, not actually them bringing her back.
And he said that they're only going to do it this one time.
Oh, yeah,
Don't
the-
expect it again.
Yes, that he did say that the teleporter. Yeah, no, that's not coming back. It's gone now.
Just to keep back retconning
Yep.
everything.
You can't retcon Wade Wilson from X-Men Origins and still have like that fucks up everything.
Yeah.
I don't think that stuff is like canon. I think that's just
You're talking about the I don't know what her character is, but Lee.
Vanessa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vanessa.
Vanessa is alive. Yes, so that's what they're saying is canon. Like that is legit. He went back in time to fix that.
And the
timeline.
rest were just jokes.
I think so.
Okay, good. Because you kill Ryan
Well,
Reynolds
so-
before he reads Green
so the-
Lantern, you
so
don't
the-
get Deadpool.
Well, no. So the first one, so him going back in time to Wolverine Origins was him messing up what should have never happened. Then going back to watch the to kill him while he was doing Green Lantern was just like saying like this isn't what started your career.
Well,
Something else did.
There was another scene they cut out, too.
Yeah.
Scenes that they
He
cut out.
killed baby Hitler, and they went, you know what, we crossed the line. It's still killing a baby on screen.
Well,
I
there.
think that may have been the MPAA. That may have
They'll
been
be
the
like,
MPAA.
"All right,
They-
we let
they
you
were
get
like,
away with all this
other
shit, but...
But-
and the dicks and everything else that was in the movie.
Yeah.
But-
You killing a baby, we can't justify that for an
Who
army.
did anybody else notice who Vanisher was?
Brad Pitt. I didn't
Yes.
catch that when that happened.
I did. So I was like, no fucking way. So I immediately pulled my phone out. I'm like, I pulled up the cast and I was like, I son of a bitch, I
Way to
knew
be
it.
a dick and pull your movie out in the middle, your phone out. In the
I
middle
don't
of the
care.
movie.
I needed to know if that was
Dick
him or not.
move.
So
Sean the non-believer, Charlie. Sean.
are you done? You're turning into Gibby.
Someone's got to fill in.
That was
for Gibby.
coherent, though.
Yeah. No. So, but the other
And
thing
it
was
has
is
references.
people were saying that when he goes back and saves
Lee.
Pete,
Pete.
that you don't see Vanish or die. So they are thinking that he
Vanisher's still
he
alive.
might come back in the next one as a joke.
You didn't see Zeitgeist die either.
No,
He
that's
didn't,
the
he didn't
thing.
get into the wood chipper at that point.
Yeah. So I don't know. They're joking
Well,
around that it
apparently-
might come back.
There's a Peter in the Deadpool comics that turns out to be a villain at some point.
Oh
And
my
people have been like,
God.
and
That'd
of course,
be great.
That
fans
would
went
be
nuts and went, that's him. That is
no,
the guy.
See, a lot of people went nuts over Peter just because it was just so funny that he was just an ordinary guy
Oh,
joining
yeah.
him.
Oh yeah.
Well, did you see the other thing that someone pointed out to me?
That Juggernaut's still alive.
Well, that too.
You see him crawl out
Yeah.
of the pool.
No.
When they
That's
they
not what I
pan
was talking about. Did you see the ice cream truck when he drove away on the motorcycle?
No.
It was for Pryor's Treats.
Pryor Streets.
Pryor was
Richard?
No, Pryor was Cable's mother's name.
No.
Yes, one of them.
Was it the Clone Gene?
I don't remember.
Clone Gene is his parent. Because Sinister creates Clone Gene, and then because Cyclops
Mike's-
and Gene are his parents.
Mike's best friend at one point was explaining to me that in one of the timelines, because he did try looking up Cable's fucking timeline, despite
It's
the
a pain in
warnings.
the fucking
Yeah,
balls.
despite the warnings, he did say at one point there is one of them where that I forget her first name, but her last name is Pryor, and she is Cable's mother.
It could be the clone. Because
know.
Sinister makes a clone of Jean Grey, and that clone fools Scott into having sex with her. And then they have Cable. And then Cable has Hope, and then Hope is what sets up Avengers vs. X-Men.
Yeah, but that was the other thing he pointed out, the Pryor's Treats thing.
Did you know Juggernaut was voiced by Ryan Reynolds?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yo, those little shits, because that's what I was trying to figure out. I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out who did fucking Juggernaut's voice. And if you look on the credits, it says Juggernaut as himself.
Yep.
So they would not tell you who
It was
did
Ryan
it.
Reynolds.
Oh, that's that little shit.
I don't remember what the reasoning was behind him deciding
How
to do
did you
it.
find that out?
He did an interview and said it was him.
Motherfucker. How do you know he's just not fucking with us, though?
I honestly believe that he did it.
I could see
Like,
him
if you go
doing
back
it
and
because of
watch
the
it, it
jokes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I thought it was interesting they went with him, Juggernaut. I thought they were going to end up doing, like, the Blob or, like, Wendigo.
I don't know. I do. Well, they're
Well,
setting up
the
for
whole
the whole
X-Men, right?
foreshadowing jokes that he's making. Like, you know, the Juggernaut's coming back.
Well, yeah, I can see that happening. But, like, the monster and all that, when they kept saying that, I thought it was, like, Wendigo. Or, like, something weird. I didn't expect it to be Juggernaut.
I don't think anybody did. I think that was what got everybody. Nobody was expecting
Oh, yeah.
that.
Well, mainly because of the whole, Sony can't really buy the rights to the X-Men to have them in the movie.
You mean Fox?
Or Fox, whoever, whatever.
Well, they can use the shit out of Juggernaut. God damn it, Kerbin.
Wendigo!
You have no idea how thrilled I was that it wasn't Wendigo after they revealed the Juggernaut, because he calls me Wendigo because I have one gray hair.
At least he has hair.
Ooh.
Oh.
I know. I'm probably out of the wedding now.
God.
That didn't take very fucking long.
Well, anyway, we Deadpooled the shit out of that opening. I guess it's time for we gotta do sports.
A little bit.
Are they? Yeah, time for sports.
How about sports? You follow sports?
See, now it's clicking.
All right.
Hope that was on
Sports is starting to get real fucking boring because we're down to like one.
You're gonna be in a dress.
Yeah, that
Oh,
would be interesting.
You know, I will rock whatever dress you put me in.
Pink.
You're not gonna fill out the top as much as me.
Hey, it's
Give
not
it
about filling out the top. It's about walking down with confidence and sexiness, which I do.
All right. So, anyways, basketball. We're apparently for like the third year in a row. Fourth?
It's fourth.
All right, whatever. Regardless, it's still a long fucking time, and this is why I don't like basketball. the Cavaliers and the Warriors are going to be going to the championship.
Golden State.
This is
LeBron.
why basketball
Kobe.
sucks, because at least with
Kobe's
football, if the same teams are in it, like like the Patriots, like how they were in it so many times, at least they almost had a different team every time, not four for the same fucking time in a row.
I can't name you one person on the Golden State Warriors.
But what I mean is, like,
I can
at
name
least
you
with
one
like
Cowboy.
at least with like basketball or hockey or baseball or football, hockey, or baseball. Even if one team is the same, it's usually something different. Basketball, no. This is year fucking 4 that the same two teams
That's true.
are in the playoff. That's shitty. That's just annoying. Change your shit up.
That's just like college football, though.
But they
It's
need
the
to change
same
some
teams
shit
in
up,
the same
which is
bowls
why
every
I
year.
don't watch college football.
Yeah, that's why no one cares except for people in college.
Well, it's like you kind of bring up a good point, but the Patriots built their team around Tom Brady. There's really not any football team that has that kind of stud
But that's what I
that
mean.
would
Like,
keep taking them back every
but that's
year.
what I'm saying. Like, at least with it's got some like
Mm-hmm.
change. Like, it's not the same shit year after year.
Because if you think about it, it's not that the Cavs are going back to the finals; it's that LeBron's going back to the finals. When he was with the Heat, he kept taking the Heat.
And
to
that's
the
what
finals.
and that's what I like. And that's why I think they need to do something to change this, because it's boring as fuck.
Get somebody as good as LeBron on the other teams.
Or maybe just like level the fucking playing field a little bit and make it so it's like less of the.
Kill LeBron.
I mean, you can make the same argument in baseball.
But baseball,
The
at least baseball
Yankees.
changes some. Like, at least
Well,
with it.
you
Like,
can predict it 5 years out when the Phillies send your entire farm system to Houston, and Houston wins the World Series.
Yeah, exactly.
but what I mean is, like, at least with baseball, yes, we might have one of the same teams a couple years in a row. You never have two of the same teams
Well, you can always
4
predict.
You have
years
trends.
in a row.
Yeah,
You have
can
trends.
always
But
predict.
it's at least it's not this 4
Like,
years in a row.
This year, to me, when you're going to get to it, the NL East is an anomaly. Like it
We don't know what's gonna go
It
on.
should be the fucking Nats leading
Yeah.
it. They have the team,
But
but
I mean, with hockey,
something
hockey
like
is definitely also something crazy. LOL, Trisha's talking about shit she doesn't know anything about. Michael,
Hi,
shut your
Spades.
fucking mouth.
Hi,
That's-
Spades.
that's-
You're the
yeah.
best.
That's Mike's best friend.
Keep watching. We love you.
Shut up,
does that little
Michael.
crown mean he's a Prime subscriber?
Yes, he
or-
is.
Thank you for your subscription. Cheever's going to send you a Snapchat.
It's gonna be a
Hey,
dick
buddy.
pic.
Hey, I sang classy wiener art here.
Anyways,
Don't say dick pic.
I dress
Classy.
mine up.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
no, that's your
Ha-
feet.
Halloween, you get a little tissue, put some of the eyes on, and it's a ghost.
You usually use
Googly
tissues.
eyes.
but anyways.
That's
So
even
like, just
better.
anywhere you move it, it's
That's
just
even
looking
better.
around.
But
It's like meat spin, but with more class. And Halloween edition.
hockey, on the other hand, something crazy happened where this is the first time an installment team, is that what they're called?
They're an expansion team.
Expansion team is actually in the fucking playoff, in the Stanley Cup.
I mean,
In theory, that should work every
No,
time they expand. but
Actually,
that
so
didn't.
I remember how you said that they took their best players from each team. It wasn't as bad as you think it was.
I
Because
think it was the way the franchising works is they can block two or
Like,
three players.
two or
yes.
three players,
So
yeah.
it wasn't necessarily the best from
if-
every team. It
if
was
you're
still some
building a-
decent players, yes.
If you're building a front line and an alternate front line, and you go, you know what, I want the goalie that you didn't protect,
yeah.
you end up like the Flyers.
But right now it is. I don't think that hockey.
Well, the Golden Knights,
Golden
Vegas,
Knights
they won
are
last
leading
night.
by
Yeah.
one against the Capitals. So it would actually be the first time in the history of the league, if the Golden
An
Knights win,
expansion team.
that would win. Yes.
Also, by the way, The Simpsons predicted this back in 1999.
Yeah, I'd really like to know, dude. Do you know how many things
This
the
year,
Simpsons?
or that Vegas would just get
The
out?
Vegas.
The Stanley Cup would be in Vegas.
Dude, you have to listen. I'm just gonna say this: the Simpsons have
it's
predicted
a
a lot of
stretch.
fucking shit that actually happened,
I
and
mean,
it's starting to creep me out.
It's more of a stretch, though. I mean, given the fact of how often the Stanley Cup travels.
Donald Trump becoming president.
I mean, let's not shoehorn.
Yeah,
this.
300
I'm talking-
episode. You taking a shot in the
It's
dark
like,
and
it's
got
like,
lucky.
oh, we're gonna
Oh,
throw.
come on. There's
we're
other
gonna
things that have
throw- we're
happened
gonna
that they
throw
predicted.
The Stanley Cup in a Las Vegas in a hotel room. All of a
Michael,
sudden, they
I'm gonna
predicted-
fuck you up.
Hey, I'm talking here.
I don't care.
You call her a bitch.
I'm trying not to get us kicked off of Twitch.
Oh, no, you can say bitch.
Do you know the things Gibby said?
I'm trying to be nice here. I'm trying to lead us into something.
That's a shame.
I just pour get more vodka.
All right.
I'll just
So,
turn into Gibby.
anyways, on to baseball. Right now in the American League, the Red Sox are leading with the Yankees behind them. The Rays, the Blue Jays, and the Orioles. You have in the Central, the Indians have taken the lead.
It's racist, but go ahead.
with the Tigers, Twins, Royals, and White Sox behind them. Then in the West, the Astros are in first with
Makes
the
sense.
Mariners, Angels, Athletics, and Rangers.
The
Then
Angels, the Angels fell to third?
you're not gonna like this next one.
Are they in first?
No.
Well, no, I didn't expect them to. They
Yeah,
lost
but
the
it's
Blue
it's
Jays
worse.
on Sunday.
In the National League East, the Braves are in first, with the Nationals ahead of them. Then the Phillies, the Mets, and the Marlins.
But it's all within like a half game,
yeah,
right?
Nationals are a half a game behind. Phillies are a game behind.
Yeah. Well, the Phillies just haven't played enough games, and they had a rough stretch with Blue. Sunday we went to Dave & Buster's, and then we went over to fucking Xfinity. They're fucking a bunch of Canadians. Most irritating fucking thing ever. Walk in just to see blue. It's like, God damn it, go back to your country.
Anyways, the National League Central shows the Brewers in first, the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Pirates, and then the Reds. And then in the West, it's the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Giants, and the Padres in the West.
Padres!
The bum Padres.
Bum Padres.
The bum Padres.
I miss Bum Padre.
So yeah, I knew they weren't in first because they had a rough outing against the Blue Jays for whatever reason. It's fucking Toronto, and you have a rough. But then they'll go and play it like the Red Sox and win the entire series.
Well, the one that surprised me was the fact that they were beating the Mets as much as they were. Don't they usually lose to the Mets?
No. The Mets kicked off the season first place with like a 10-1.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the Mets are usually pretty decent, and they usually kick Philly's ass.
The tough thing is the NL East has been so unpredictable. I think every team has been in first at least some point this beginning half. We're not even in the All-Star break. And they can't, like, you don't have, like, that's the team that's going.
The Marlins don't have much of a chance right now.
They are the only team I don't think was in first.
Because right now, they are actually, other than the Orioles.
Lots because they sent a fucking mole down there named Derek Jeter who took their best talent and sent him up to the Yankees.
So the Orioles are 20
fucking
games
teabag.
behind. So of all the last place teams, the Orioles are 20 games behind.
We should go see a Baltimore game. It'll be cheap.
The White Sox are 10.5. The Rangers are 13.5. The Marlins are 11. The Reds are 16, and the Padres are 7.5.
Well, the weird thing about the White Sox is they were at first last month.
That's it.
Like,
I can't
some
keep
of these
up.
divisions have been so out of whack, and we're not even in All-Star break yet. So this, like right now, the Braves could be leading, but the Marlins could be in first after the All-Star break.
We'll figure it out
I
eventually.
doubt it because Jeter fucked them, but it's crazy.
I don't know.
But yeah, I knew they weren't. I knew the Phils weren't going to be in first. I didn't know they were going to be in third.
I mean, they took over first for like a hot minute.
A day,
but,
literally a day, and then they blew it against the Toronto Blue Jays the next day. Fun stuff. You got any more sports?
There's not much else going on.
I didn't even bother to look up curling news, did you?
Because curling's not going
Curling's
on
done.
right now.
This is prime curling training
Once
season.
the Olympics end, that website dies for like 7 months.
It's active for a month. Like that's really it. It goes, here's our standings for February. See you next year.
Once the Olympics end, curling
we
news
gotta
is dead.
create our own league and just constantly update it.
I swear to God, if we don't buy curling that domain the next time it fucking goes down.
That I thought was fun. The official site for curling, they just let it lapse and didn't buy the curlingnews.com, and we should have bought it. Put the Dace Man Show there. Be like, what the fuck is this? Your
Curling
new
news.
favorite podcast with the most accurate news in curling history, where we just cheer for Bragdishu.
even when he was injured and
He was
still
injured
in
for a whole
second
year and was
fucking
in
place.
second. And then this year he came back. He's like, oh, he came back from injury, didn't have a good year. He's still in third.
My favorite part of the curling this year was the fact that the men's U.S. curling team just looked like 4 dads who stumbled upon the Olympics and got fucking bored and won.
Yeah, BuzzFeed.
That
Yeah, BuzzFeed.
no, but that and this
BuzzFeed title right out of your mouth.
actually no, but and then
Really?
there's the 16-year-old kid. Did you see this? Also see the 16-year-old kid who was late, had never done that before. He's insulting
What
me.
country are you
I
from?
don't fucking know because I don't know.
Country of anger.
Apparently,
Germany.
I don't know.
Duh.
Yeah, whatever. I don't fucking.
Well, I'm excited. We're gonna. Sorry. I just
No,
threw it.
you're fine. I don't care.
We got a UFC fight coming up June 9th, which I'm really excited about. Where it's CM Punk
Oh, is it?
versus Jackson.
I don't care about the other person.
and-
I just want to see CM Punk.
The thing is, a lot of commentaries going around, and Dana White even fed into this. If CM Punk does not win June 9th, his UFC career is over.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which now he's going to be doing autograph sessions in Chicago around the time of a huge independent wrestling events going on. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word event. But September 1st, that's going on, and now there's speculation that if Punk loses, he'll be there, and it's only a matter of time before he's back in WWE.
Or
He wins.
He's not going back to WWE. He burned that bridge.
no, he would. Yeah, but
He
here,
burned
but
that
Not
bridge.
as bad as other
Vince-
people.
no, but here,
Vince
no,
will
but
not take
here's
him
my
back.
thing about that. Yes, they would because they let him say.
Vince
but think
would.
about Vince would, but think about
Triple
this.
H wouldn't.
I'm
So
listen,
Oh, we need to make
Here-
sure that the
I don't
story
even-
arc
I don't
is
even
just
know
right.
wrestling as well as you guys, but I will say that
Oh,
from
always watch it.
what I was told with what they were doing with Punk, they let him say whatever he fucking wanted. He could trash the league, and because he was making them money,
yeah,
they let him do it.
he's the only
If
guy
he-
that 4 years after he left, they still chant his fucking name. It's
If-
annoying now. But
If he wants to go back and just shit storm the entire league, as long as they're getting money from it, they would fucking let him.
The ironic thing is, his entire time there, his last couple of years, he bitched about guys like The Rock, Batista, those who came back and did part-time schedules.
But that's what he's
He
doing.
goes back, he's going to do a part-time
Yeah.
schedule.
But
He
The
doesn't need
Rock-
money.
see-
He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need to put himself in an injury.
And he's got so many other projects going on that
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't even matter to him.
But I will say that if anybody could go back after just trashing the league, it would be him because he was still in the league and he was trashing it, and they fucking let him as a publicity stunt.
See, now, and that's why I think Vince would be more agreeable to that, because he let the Ultimate Warrior back. he let Piper back several times. Piper has gone on like HBO specials and said how fucking stupid Vince is, and then he's back within a year.
Yeah, that's why I
Triple H, on the other hand, Punk was so negative about Triple H on his way out. I can see Triple H going, I don't need you.
but that's
You
but
know what? That would
but-
be an interesting story arc
Mhm.
to reintroduce CM Punk. Just have Vince and Triple H battle it out, going, should we bring Punk back?
Yes,
Should we
no,
not
yes,
bring
no,
Punk
yeah.
back?
Mhm.
Going into a title card fight.
Yeah.
Probably because this fight
Punk
is, like,
versus Triple
June,
H.
So probably by the time of WrestleMania, we'll see Punk
The funny-
debut at
Re-debut at WrestleMania.
as Vince and Triple H have their opponents fight, and you see CM Punk take down Triple H's opponents.
The funny thing
Or
is,
a Triple
have
H
that heel arc
or
for
Triple H
another year.
himself.
the funny thing about
Yeah.
that, he left the company because he was supposed to face Triple H at WrestleMania 30.
So-
and he went, I don't need to fucking face you again."
WWE, if you need a writer, I will gladly take a small commission. You don't have to give me what you pay your normal guys. I'll take the small commission. I'll jump on board and I'll help you write some episodes for you. My name is Cheever. You can find me at Cheever212 at
It's his
gmail.com.
legal birth name.
But I will say, like, by
Like
the end of
shit.
it, they literally would just silence the entire stadium, give Punk a mic, and just let him blow their shit up.
The promo 4 weeks before his original contract was expired, they said just go out there and say what you want, and he just
Trashed.
let loose.
Trash.
And they went,
I'm
all right,
looking this up after the
mute.
show.
So
It's
I
called
don't.
the pipe bomb.
I don't really like I
look
don't
that up.
like wrestling, but I will my Steph has always like told me stuff about it, and she like we love CM Punk, like
Yeah.
I liked him. She goes, dude, you have to hear what's going on with this right now. We sat there for like an hour just listening to different YouTube videos of him just pouring all sorts of bullshit, secrets, trash, like everything. And like this is stuff that you just don't fucking say, and they were letting him go because it was working and they were getting money. Like they were
Yeah.
they were getting so much publicity from it. It was fucking ridiculous.
One of my favorite lines he had was when he was facing The Rock, when The Rock was coming back to face John Cena at WrestleMania 29. And they're going back and forth, and he's like, you can take your little jabs, you can say what you want, but you're going to find that your arms are just too short to box with a god. I was like, yes! That's great. That is a great line. And
'Cause
even The
he-
Rock was having trouble keeping up with him.
he just did what he wanted. He was so done, and they let him be done. It was
Well, there's always been that mentality with WWE.
Yeah, but they've
And, like,
always-
even the older school crowd.
Well, The Rock.
But
The-
they've
The
always
Rock
still-
The Rock didn't become The Rock until they said, you know what? The Rocky Malvia thing's not working. Just go out there and say what you want. And
but
then,
but they still
Like,
to a
negative,
certain
like,
extent
people
they didn't let
respond
them
to
trash the league as much as they did. What I'm saying
Yeah.
is he just literally he insulted the McMahons, he insulted the people attached them, like he legitimately meant these insults
the one
and they
line
let him.
was, I wish I could say that the WWE would be better off when Vince is dead, but his doofus son-in-law and his dumbass daughter would take it over afterwards
And like that's
anyway.
what he meant.
It was just like,
That
damn.
was a real, yeah, that was a real statement.
That's the thing. Like everything he was saying, it wasn't just him acting. Like they didn't know what he was going to be saying, so it's not like they could force it. Like he
Unlike the ECW.
he
one
ripped
that we
them
were
the fuck
talking
apart.
about, Where it was Triple H. It was what was his name? I think was it Mick Foley? He went out on stage and he was just like
Yeah.
fucking trashing the shit out of
Oh.
Triple H.
Joey
And-
Styles, when he quit, he
Yeah.
did that. Because
Yeah.
he was a Raw commentary guy, and with the way the Raw commentary works is it's Vince just feeding the lines to you through the commentary. Like, push this project, say that he's going to do this. So when Styles quit, he walks to the top of the fucking ramp and he goes, I'm gonna tell you how I really feel about this damn. And he just let loose on the goddamn product, and he went, because it's sports entertainment and not wrestling anymore. And he just kept going and going and going. And there's like, Charles is gone. Then they put him on like website duty or some shit.
Yeah, but that's why if anybody could make their way back into that league and still fucking hate that league, it would be him.
The realistic thing is that with WWE, if you're a draw, they'll bring you back. They're still playing with the idea of bringing Hogan back, even though he was labeled a racist. Like, they're like, has it been enough time yet? Okay, Roseanne Barr's getting the most hate. All right, we'll go with Hogan.
Yeah.
We'll bring Hogan back. Or,
that's
oh my God, the wound's too fresh. Let's not bring him back.
Yeah.
No, but that Punk basically can do whatever the hell he wants.
I'm still skeptical.
No, I'm telling. With the shit that he said about them, he can do whatever he wants.
It really comes down to June 9th. If he wins, WWE's done. He's never going back.
Because the other thing is that even when they cut his mic, he dropped the fucking mic and just started yelling.
He walked over to the camera and started yelling loud enough to where you can hear him.
Legit, like that's so he did not, and there were still a couple episodes after that one, was there not?
He had 3 more Raws under his contract and then he signed his contract the day of the pay-per-view in real life, and basically Vince was like, "You got me over a barrel," and it's like, "I know." So he won the title. They did this whole he ran out of the stadium thing, and they kept him off TV for about a month. Like he showed up at a couple independent shows, he showed up at Comic Cons, but he just disassociated himself with WWE except for carrying around the title and saying that any person who wins the title after this point is just a fake champion. And then in like September they brought him back as soon as Cena won the belt.
Yep. He basically he is untouchable.
That was it was in the shitty era of wrestling. that was a good highlight of it.
Yep.
Between him and then he had great matches after that too. He was with Jericho, he was with Daniel Bryan, that year and a half, maybe 2 years was good stuff.
Yeah.
After he left and Bryan got injured the first time, product's been shit because they keep pushing Roman Reigns. Anyway, if he wins this June 9th, I don't think he's ever going to go back to WWE because now he realizes he's got that taste of victory.
See,
and Dana White knows he's drawn.
I think he might have a chance, though. I do. Because when he had the first fight, he didn't have a lot of time to prepare for that, in my opinion.
And everybody had already pointed out that Mickey Gall was out of his league.
But think about this one. All these people who he was fighting or who he was going after, they had been doing this for years.
Oh, yeah.
They had been doing this. They've been training for this their entire lives almost. Like, once they realized what they were doing. CM Punk, maybe had a couple months to a year, if that?
A year and a half.
But that's not necessary.
And back surgery.
But that's not even close to what would be needed to actually stand a chance against somebody in that fucking ring.
Yeah.
CM Punk is not a small man.
No.
And he is not somebody who doesn't know how to fight. Like, I feel like now that he has had all of this time in between.
4 years now.
But as I'm saying, he's had a lot of time between now and the last fight.
And they picked a guy that's even with him.
Yeah. Yes.
When they picked Mickey Gall,
They
a
picked
lot of people
a ticket name.
They picked this guy that should have been in the UFC years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
They
he
picked a
beat the
ticket name.
Fuck out of Punk.
Yeah.
That's why I think now that he has had the time, he can train, he can figure out what he needs to do, he can find his strengths and his weaknesses. I think he'll stand a chance because he's not one to back down from shit either. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
He's not somebody who'll back down.
I think he has a decent chance going in, but if he doesn't win, Dana White already said, "Yeah, I think it's time for us to part ways." Dana White realizes that he's such a draw. He removed Overeem from the card.
Yeah.
And Overeem was the world champion the first time Punk fought.
Yeah.
So that goes to show that he knows, because people like me are going to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Oh shit, CM Punk's in UFC?
Yeah.
I'll watch UFC
I'll
now.
watch a second
Yeah.
fight. Hopefully it goes longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But he's the
But-
opening.
And he'll be, he is the opener. I was
He's
going
the
to say, because he'll be,
It's
because
not
he
the-
would be,
It's not the big draw.
well, that's
There's a
what,
title fight at the end.
Well, that's what-
the big one.
usually the UFC, the bigger fight, like the biggest draw is the last fight, like Ronda or like fucking, what's his dumbass and McGregor and,
Mayweather and McGregor. Yeah. It does come down to the names. And when you think UFC, you think McGregor, Ronda, even Lesnar at the time was such a big draw. And now Ronda and Lesnar are both in WWE.
well, Lesnar is fucking insane, so that doesn't help.
Lesnar will end up fighting in the UFC again.
Probably.
His new
He's
contract
a
with
house. He's a legitimate
Yeah.
fucking house.
his contract with WWE is now paid per appearance. So he's not on like a long-term contract.
It's
just
like if I show up for a
I
show,
think-
you're paying me for that
I
show,
think with-
and it's going to be bang.
but I can do UFC in between because now
I
I'm not
think
a
for
contract.
Rousey, she was done. That last fight they put her in, you can tell by the look on her face. That last fight that she was in for the UFC, she did not want to do it.
No.
She was pressured into that. She was pushed into that, and she was probably given a lot of fucking money for that. You could tell she was done before that last fight. That fight with Holly Holm killed her. It did.
Yeah.
It destroyed her. And then they pushed her into that other one with that other chick, and it was just, she didn't want to be there. WWE, on the other hand, she's been a legitimate fan for years.
Oh yeah,
She's
got
a
the name
huge,
Rowdy from Roddy Piper.
She's a huge fucking nerd. She loves like WWE. She loves video games. She loves all that shit. Like she want to do this. The only problem with her is she can't act for shit. I think.
No, her promos are the worst. Her in-ring debut for WWE was really good though. I was shocked.
I was there, right?
She probably practiced.
When
Yeah, you were here.
she was pointing at the WrestleMania sign. No, she didn't speak. That's why.
The crazy thing was you had Kurt Angle teaming with Ronda Rousey and Stephanie and Triple H teaming.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle was the worst thing in that match. Now that is like that speaks volumes.
That's Kurt Angle though.
Yeah.
Well, because you were
has
saying
she
you were
ever done
worried.
Anything good?
They didn't show. She had not been in any altercation except for like I'm going to do a hip toss.
But you were saying you were worried because it was my concern with Rousey being in the WWE was the same thing that I noticed when McGregor fought Mayweather. She's gonna have trouble holding back from kneeing somebody in the fucking face. Like she's gonna have trouble holding back the UFC moves and somewhere where she can't really do that kind of shit.
I mean,
She
Yeah, but
popped
the
one
fights-
person in the face on
but-
Raw. So they have a gimmick on Raw with this, or she's on SmackDown now. But her gimmick was a UFC fighter, and Ronda got in the ring with her for what I don't know who thought that was a good idea. She popped her right in the fucking face, and you just see this girl drop and go nope and roll right out of the fucking ring.
But that's what I mean. Like Ronda, like the fights are scripted, yes, but you have to remember they're actually still fighting. So it's not like they don't like real injuries don't happen. Like they don't actually get hurt. It's just that's why I'm saying like I feel like Ronda's gonna have trouble pulling
it's the same
back.
thing with Lesnar. Braun Strowman came out the gate really hot in one match and was just like on top of Lesnar and was going way too fast. And any other reasonable person would have put you in like a headlock and said, "Hey, slow down." No, Lesnar popped up, punched him in the temple, kneed him in the face, and said, "Slow the fuck down."
But that's
And that was like, holy shit.
But that's my thing with Ronda Rousey is I feel like she might have trouble like pulling back the UFC tendencies to just not fuck somebody else.
that's the best part though.
Yeah, but
That was a
That's the
very
draw.
interesting moment when Lesnar did that to Strowman's like, oh, he just stopped selling and went, you know what, fuck you, and just beat the shit out of him. It was like, Braun Strowman's like a 7-foot fucking giant. And Lesnar was like, I'm done, and just punched him right in the fucking head.
While we're still on like the WWE, Fox now has SmackDown, if I hear correctly.
October 2019.
Which is the first time SmackDown has been back on public broadcasting since it was on the CW, what it used to be years ago. Yeah.
oh god.
Yeah. Which was back in 2000.
I mean I know what UPN is, but fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because they moved it to Fridays, and then Vince was like, fuck you.
Yeah,
and then
they're
went
like-
back to the USA.
Yeah.
Fox shelled out big money.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
they're changing
so
their lineup. They're planning something, and I don't.
You know what-
Their TV shows?
Their sale is going to push them more towards news.
you know what they're fucking planning. They're getting bought out.
Well, yeah, their sales going to when the sales is said and done, all they'll have left is sports and news. Because they're selling all their TV rights to whoever buys
Disney.
it. Right
More than
now,
likely
Disney.
No, but Disney-
Comcast is like being a dick over in the corner. Like, I
Disney's-
can outbid you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're trying to.
I don't know if they could. It really depends on the commitment. It could be what fucking Carl Icahn did to Pep Boys in Firestone, where he went, all right, Firestone did 400, I'll do 500. Firestone's like, well, we'll do 600. All right, I do $1 billion. The fucking company's not worth that, and they just walked away.
Yeah.
But that Comcast is lingering off the side. The Fox deal is huge though because now that adds room for salary. So like Brock Lesnar was destroying their salary because he's like $1 million per pay-per-view appearance.
Yeah.
Now it's like, SmackDown's TV deal just paid for Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. So, and honestly, I felt the quality was a lot higher when it was back on public broadcasting.
SmackDown is the better show.
Always,
Hands down.
Hands down, always has been.
It's because Raw gets so much focus, it gets too much focus, and they put too much thought into it, and it's like, it doesn't feel natural, it feels forced,
Well,
it's
that's
3
their
hours.
first. That's their first child.
Yeah, 25 years.
Raw's their first child. SmackDown is the Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Version.
And it's like, hey,
No, well, sorry, ECW.
Yeah,
Was
it's
the
like,
Legends of Tomorrow, but that kind of got brought into.
they're like,
SmackDown.
hey, you love these independent, like these indie scene matches with like Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe? We're gonna do it as a main event, and everybody's like, yeah, let's watch that. That's gonna be a much better match than Roman Reigns punching a 7-foot monster, and we believe it.
Yeah.
But that's why Spectre's always been the best. I guess it's time to go to a different subject.
Now that we've
40
just-
minutes into it.
Fuck.
So you gotta have.
I guess we didn't need Gibby.
No. Well, you know what? It was a productive conversation because everybody got to talk.
Yeah, and it wasn't just us being like, "Fuck you."
Do this
Yeah.
off mic instead of trashing
No, no.
everyone. that's-
Fuck
No,
Gibby.
fuck Gibby.
Fuck Gibby.
Fuck Frank.
Because you know what? Because you know what? If Gibby were here, he'd say "fuck us."
You can't say fuck Frank because Frank gets nothing in
He doesn't.
whatsoever.
He kind of
But
just chimes
Gibby
in like every once in a while. Gibby
dominates the fucking show. Time for weird news
I
with
think that's what
Cheever.
I've been doing so far.
You mean gaming news?
Gaming news with Cheever.
What the fuck?
Boy, that escalated quickly.
All right, guys. So if you are actually watching us, thank you for watching us tonight. Because in the gaming world, something big has happened today, and that is Bethesda went live on Twitter with a picture of the Nuke Boy and a TV background saying, "Please tune in."
I didn't know it was the Nuke Boy.
Hey, I'm in the middle of a promo here.
just saying.
I'm in the middle of a promo here. So,
If I'm reading this right, they didn't announce shit.
yeah, no, I got
not at
it. I got
Not
this.
at all.
Let me finish my promo so
No,
we
I
can
was
talk
just-
about this. So, thank you for watching us. Now, please don't go to twitch.com/Bethesda
Don't give them their
and
name.
and watch the same picture that's on Twitter live of the Pit Boy.
I'll do it
And
for
the
you.
please tune in, or please wait, whatever that 1960s bullshit TV anchor news thing was, and wait for an announcement that's going to probably happen tomorrow
Oh, it still
at
says
10.
please stand by.
Yeah, it's probably going to be an announcement at 10 a.m. Pacific
Oh.
time.
I didn't know it was
Is
the.
he asleep now? Was he asleep
Oh, they
last
put him
time?
asleep. No, they made him put him asleep. So breaking news, Mr. Pit-Boy is currently
He's
asleep
laying
on it.
down now.
See, I didn't know the Pit Boy was there. I
Yeah.
only saw this.
So
I only saw the
it's-
Please Stand By. Because when I saw the Please Stand
On-
By, people were speculating more than just Fallout. I didn't know they
It's
added
just-
Pit Boy, so
yeah.
now it'll.
Well,
be
the
something
Pit Boy was
Fallout.
added onto the actual Twitch broadcast versus the Twitter tweet. So they're probably going to make an announcement 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is in the normal for the video game realm, because that's normally what Valve does. It's normally what all the other major brands do because they're West Coast. So we'll probably have something on the site talking about it tomorrow, so make sure to check our site out. So do you guys think it's Fallout 4? Do you think it's Fallout 5? What do you guys think it is?
I don't know. Some people, because weren't a lot of people just disappointed in Fallout 4?
I didn't mind it. That's the first game I actually got into. I didn't like it being Boston. Fuck
I
Boston.
mean, Boston's the worst compared to
Boston.
Philly.
Do they have a Philly version?
Not a Fallout, no.
Well, that should be Fallout 5.
I don't know. I think I don't know.
Fallout 4.
If it's
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it might be something remastered, like they've been saying, or so, like people have been speculating. Because I feel like, when did Fallout 4 come out? Like
About 2 years ago.
yeah, I feel like knowing them, they'll probably push Fallout 5 a little bit longer with
And
all the other shit coming out.
The reason why I'm not saying it's Fallout 5 is because Bethesda just poured money into Rage 2.
Yeah,
So why release 2 AAA games at the same time?
with
You're
everything
not-
else too.
Yeah, so you're competing with your own self. It doesn't make sense
Well, when's
on a
Rage
marketing
2?
side.
October.
Rage 2, well, that's officially getting announced at E3 this year. It's already been leaked.
but it should be
it's
out
gonna release this year.
October.
Yes, it's released. Yeah, Rage 2 is being released.
Do you
this year.
think they might announce Fallout 5 as like coming soon?
If it is Fallout 5, but I don't
What they're
think
gonna
it's
do a
going to
Kingdom
be.
Hearts where they just keep saying coming
they
soon
told you
for like
4 years
5
ago?
fucking
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
I mean,
Fuck you, Kingdom Hearts.
honestly,
Uh.
I believe
That would
it
feel-
is a remastered version. 'Cause
Yeah.
they just poured all this money into the new rendering and all that, and the engine. It would make sense to keep that team for Fallout 4 on for an
Or
extra 2 years and just remaster 3,
Or it could be the
remaster 1.
crossover that they're talking about. The people are keep asking about. That's the only other thing I could think of where it's
Well,
not a full.
ZeniMax already said no. On Twitter, they already said. Was
Yeah,
it
but-
ZeniMax or was it
Listen, they can say no all they
Um,
want until E3 happens and they change their fucking minds.
Obsidian? No, they have officially said on their Twitter, this is not us.
But
we have nothing to do with Fallout New Vegas. Like, this has nothing to do
I don't
with
know.
us
I mean,
whatsoever.
it could be any number of things. I do agree with you though, because there's too much coming out right now for them to want to put out another new game to try and compete
And
with
it's
everything.
right around the corner from E3, so they're trying to build hype for
Yeah.
their block so people tune in and
Yeah.
actually watch their E3.
Is Fallout 4 the only one that came out on the PS4 and Xbox One?
Yes.
That's probably the remastered.
Yeah.
Because BioShock did it, Borderlands did it, and remastering seems to be the way to go right now.
My
What you think
other
them
theory-
remastering 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, and bringing it up to that console.
My other theory is VR.
No. I'm sorry. No, they did remaster 1, 2, and 3 for the Xbox when they gave you Fallout 4. I'm almost positive.
I honestly don't know. I have PS4.
They remastered when you got Fallout 4, you got something remastered with the deluxe edition. I'm almost positive because
Then
I
half
remember.
the work's done then at that point.
But that's what I'm thinking. I don't know if it's all of them or if it was just like Fallout 1, but I'm like 99% sure when they released Fallout 4, because I remember seeing it on the box that when you bought Fallout, or at least I thought it was Fallout, that something remastered came with it from a previous system.
You know what it actually really is? It's Mission Impossible Fallout. They're
I wanna look this
actually
up.
they're gonna announce that they just remade the entire movie with the Fallout engine, and that's what's actually going to be in theaters, not the live action. It's just going to be Mission Impossible.
They stole
Fallout
the
and
font,
Fallout.
so I
Yeah.
could totally see. This is completely side railing, but having Movie Pass and seeing all these fucking trailers, I am fucking tired of Mission Impossible.
Oh my god!
Here is
yes.
your mission if you so choose to accept.
I'm sick of Mission Impossible.
Get down with
Fuck
the
that.
sickness. Like I can't. I can sit there and quote that fucking trailer back to
Well,
him.
I'm glad you brought that up. The other gaming news, quickly go into it, is that Fortnite is currently being sued
I briefly
by
saw that.
another battle royale game.
Puppy.
I'm not sure if they've officially announced it.
You can't sue someone because your butt hurt the other game was better.
It's better. I mean, but if that's also true, PUBG's a ripoff of another game.
Aren't all games a ripoff of another game
But
if you think
the,
about it?
the exact style, though, it's the same exact style. Only they didn't even change the mechanics. The only thing that PlayerUnknown changed was the loot-based system, where it was now you can decide what you want to drop.
Hi.
in.
Who are you waving at?
There's someone in the chat.
Anonymous. Just as
Yeah.
anonymous.
We love you, Mr. Anonymous.
I
Please
couldn't read
join
it.
our show. Although we're back down to 0, so you probably left.
Or you're there on a different medium.
Hey.
Get down with the sickness.
So that's the other thing in gaming news.
The big one I saw is today they announced Mega Man 11 will be out
What?
October 2nd
What? Oh, I'm pumped for that.
for PS4, Switch, Steam, and Xbox One.
So I'm actually really excited now that more mainstream games are getting placed on Steam.
I'm happy it's coming to the Switch. I might actually get that for the because if you watch the gameplay looks amazing.
Yeah.
It's like taking a classic Mega Man and giving it really
I
good
got one more
graphics.
thing for gaming news. I forgot.
But I'm excited for it, and I'll probably reserve it soon. GameStop.
Hey, GameStop, we love you. Please sponsor us.
See, they're still there.
Hey,
we're doing
hey.
well.
Oh, we're doing great. Thanks for watching us. Feel free to join in the conversation. To me, it feels like a minute lag. They say it's a 5-second lag. So feel free to type in and join the conversation with us. Pull up a beer and enjoy the conversation.
Yeah, if anything, we're a week lag because we only show up once a week.
I don't know what to type in to figure this out, so I can remember what it
That's
got
okay.
released with.
So the other
No, 'cause it's gonna
other
bother
gaming
me.
news that I forgot about was Nintendo of Europe.
Nintendo.
They said, hey, any reporters want to follow Pokemon news for the Switch? Here's the link. Sign up with your email address.
Did we follow it?
I did not put in for it. Well, mainly because I'm afraid they're going to figure out, hey, you guys aren't European, you're American based.
Hello, governor.
Hey, we sound just like the European countries. So
Yeah,
we're an international. We are international. We have Burnham on our roster.
Governor.
So we're international.
and we have a Welsh guy that yells at me occasionally. He hasn't yelled at me lately.
So
but-
we're an international show.
Burhan.
We love Burhan.
Well, he's not here, but
I wish he was though.
I was talking about Mr. Sean Walker.
But anyway, yeah. So they're getting closer to having a Pokemon release for the Switch.
It's not Detective Pikachu, is it?
No, that was for the 3DS.
It's called Pokemon Pikachu Go and Eevee Go, right?
That's not confirmed, and I highly doubt that's what it is. Something, because of the leaks, I felt like they had to reserve the IP and the integrity.
Did you see the other IP they reserved?
No, what one?
An N64 classic.
Oh, but we've all been saying that's the next step. Every Christmas or holiday season, they've been releasing another classic console. So the next step would have to be the N64 classic.
And then apparently it's charged Sony to get into the game.
And Atari.
Yeah. Well, Atari's been doing it for years. Same with Sega.
Figured it out. So when Fallout 4 released on Xbox One, they gave you a copy of Fallout 3 for free.
So again, they did a third of the work. So they could just take that
and just put it on.
I don't know.
So, Mr. Anonymous, to answer your question, I saw a news article recently that Nintendo of America. Wow, you're fondling. Why are you fondling someone?
hands.
Oh, okay. I was about to say you're
There's
fondling someone's
two?
balls.
I'm fondling Schwimmer.
Oh yeah, we love Schwimmer. So the Nintendo of Europe, whatever you guys call it, they've said, hey, any journalists want to get news from Pokemon Switch, just put your email address in. So they're getting close to announcing a Pokemon game on the Switch, but apparently only European journalists get the heads up first.
Governor.
So congratulations, you're going to get the first news. So what's
Governor.
going on with Pokemon?
And if
Can you let us know?
if
Yeah,
you
please
could,
let us know.
I need you to talk to Andy Lincoln and talk some fucking sense into him. Because if he leaves, I'm gonna be really pissed off. Get on it.
I thought everybody bitches about him on the show anyways.
I don't mind him at all. You just can't do The Walking Dead without Rick Grimes.
No, they're gonna go about the Degrassi routes and all that.
Nah, it's okay.
Where they slowly just replace the old cast with a new cast, and after a while they're down to one original character and then they're gone, and you have the new cast. It's like that.
Well, that's gonna happen with me as a viewer. I'm just gonna leave, not come back, because the entire story is. We'll get to that in Celeb. Maybe we have time for Celeb. Are we going to Celeb?
We can go to Celeb.
All right. I don't think I played this theme music in
a couple weeks.
forever. I don't think. Well, even then. Bye, Cheever.
Bye.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Fight my shiny metal ass.
Yeah, bitch! And here we go.
All right, time for celebrity news. And
Another news: Cheever needs some pants. Who wants to send him some?
I told you I was going to strip this time.
the big news is, there's a couple big news
Cheever
stories out
needs
there.
New pants.
Andy Lincoln is leaving The Walking Dead after season 9, and apparently he's only in 6 episodes of the next season. The rumor is they paid a big check to Mr. Norman Reedus to stay on and take over the show. Fuck him! Sorry.
Why?
He's not even in the comics.
Ah.
I read the comics, and there is a way they can do it to where they don't have to kill Rick. And maybe if Rick decides that, my acting career is not that great outside The Walking Dead, I'll come back.
I think he's just over it. He's probably just sick of it at this point.
Yeah, he's leaving.
Yeah.
He said bye. He wants to part ways with Walking Dead. He feels that his time has come to have some closure and work on other side projects. Kind of like Chris Evans with the Avengers.
But even Chris Evans left the door open. He said for the right story and the right price, he'd come back. Same with Chris Hemsworth.
Well, I mean, it's not over yet.
But at the same time, Andy Lincoln has tried to act outside The Walking Dead. Rick Grimes is his bread and butter. Why would you do this? Why?
Now he's just ready to retire.
No. He's only 40-something. No.
You know how much money they make, though? If he invested
you know how much more
properly?
he can make?
Oh, yeah, hands down.
You can't ruin the story for the sake of, I just don't want to do it anymore. You knew what you signed up for, okay?
To be fair, his character dies halfway in the comic books.
No.
I thought Rick dies.
No. The whole story is Rick and Carl, and Rick looking out for Carl.
That's why when they killed Carl, it didn't make a lot of sense because the whole thing was about Rick protecting Carl.
Yeah.
I swore
Judith dies.
when the two groups meet that Keegan kills?
Negan?
Negan.
Keegan had a show with
Keenan. That-
Yeah. I thought Negan kills Rick.
Kills Glenn.
Oh.
Yeah. Rick is still very alive and running the show.
Yeah.
Now, if this
In the comics?
Yeah, in the comics,
if
that's
this
why he
I thought
decision,
that was the biggest, like, why everyone got pissed off.
If-
No,
at the start of
they-
one season.
No, that's why they did that. That's why they didn't understand the decision to kill Carl. Because the biggest thing about the entire thing about The Walking Dead is it's Rick's story of protecting Carl.
that's why
it.
I think the story would have been so perfect that in the end, Carl turned out to be Rick's next enemy. Because Carl grew up in it, Carl lived it, and then all of a sudden he realized Rick outlived his usefulness. That would have been great.
Fun fact,
And
that's-
so they
that's
killed
how the
Carl.
comic ends.
It probably will. Or he wakes up on like the Mary Tyler Moore show.
No. I'm afraid at this point that they've heard it so many times and people bitch about it that they're just gonna go sure. It's the same thing
it's
with
not
Game
religion.
of Thrones. It's the same thing with Game of Thrones. It's George R. Martin doesn't know how to end it, so he's gonna let the show end it for him. So you can say that's how I planned it all along.
That's what I'm nervous about because now that Rick has decided that season 9 he's done, Andy Lincoln is walking out. Does Robert Kirkman make a change in his comics for the sake of matching the show?
I doubt it.
I can't see it.
It depends. If he already has an ending in mind, no, he'll finish it out to the integrity of what it was.
Yeah.
That's not true with George R. Martin because he has an ending in mind. He just makes books uber fucking long and it takes forever to read them and get through them.
I mean, I think we all miss Glenn in the show. To be honest, Glenn was the character that we always rooted for. Just like when he found that box of condoms in the pharmacy. It's just like, yeah, our boy Glenn's getting laid, finally.
Well, like, see, this season is just kind of season 9 makes sense to just end it on the AMC level, only because Michonne is now clearly a Marvel girl.
Yeah.
She's in Black Panther. She's the guard. She's the only one left from Black Panther. Right
Okay, yes. Yeah,
Um,
Shuri. Don't you?
We don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
Don't you go after my girl.
We don't know.
Shush. You be quiet. Don't you hurt my girl.
The actress who plays Maggie just got picked up for a pilot on ABC.
What show?
I have no idea, but ABC got some room
I keep
based on our
getting
next story.
told. I get told I look like a character on that damn show all the time, and I never
You look
watch
like
it.
the lesbian.
Tara.
Yep.
I don't know.
Right?
I get told
you watch it, right?
yeah.
Yep.
I get told I look like her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just as annoying.
I will have customers at work look at me and goes, "You look like that girl from The
yeah.
Walking Dead." I'm like, I don't fucking know. I don't watch it.
Every show has a lifespan cycle, and I just feel that, honestly, I felt like it should have ended a few seasons earlier.
Well, no, this all-out war, they should have got to that quicker, because all-out war to me was my second favorite arc in that book series. The Governor was my favorite. The Governor was nothing like the Governor in the comics, but I liked it still for the show. But the all-out war with Negan, that they shouldn't have done Terminus and the Walking and Alexandria so long. Like it should have been Governor, Terminus, bang, mid-season you're in Alexandria, bang, Negan showed up at the next season. So you should be like, in theory, a season back. Like the war should have ended a season ago.
I'm not gonna lie. I never got past season 1 or 2.
Well, 2 was another bullshit one because you're looking for a girl
sucks.
half the season.
Yeah, 2 sucked.
And then it's like, oh, she's dead.
I-
Again,
I-
they drugged that out.
I couldn't
and you
get
could have
past.
condensed it.
And it's weird because everyone gives me shit because I love zombies. I love zombie apocalypse stuff. I don't know why, but I never got into The Walking Dead ever.
Again, it's the first 6 episodes were amazing. The first season. The second season, like, oh, we liked your first season so much, we need you to do double what you did, and they weren't ready to double what they did.
Yeah.
And then they drug it out, and they lost people, and then the third season picked up again with bringing in Woodbury and everything, and the prison. And then it tapered off again with Terminus and bullshit, let's deal with politics in Alexandria. It didn't pick up until Negan got there. And now the Negan arc is ended. There is another arc that would be very interesting. It may be rushed with the decision of Andrew Lincoln leaving.
Yeah.
Do you read the comics?
No, not at all.
They actually venture out from Virginia and head towards Pittsburgh to recruit people in.
Yeah.
So there is potential.
To go away from
Yeah.
Andrew Lincoln.
And they don't have to kill him. They can keep him in Alexandria and just follow Norman Reedus on his journey out to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And you know what they
Well-
might try to do at that point? You know, this is probably what they're going to do. If season 9 is Norman Reedus' travel to Pittsburgh,
Mhm.
Fear the Walking Dead is the crew going eastbound, right?
Should be.
So in theory, Fear the Walking Dead cast meets up with Norman Reedus, brings them back into the Walking Dead universe, or that side of the universe, and then basically continue the show, but with a new cast, with trying to survive on the East Coast.
The other problem, real quick, is the Pittsburgh thing is 2 storylines away.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother it's called the Whisperer War that happens in between that.
Well, so there's a show that I watched where the main character left. She didn't want to have anything to do with it anymore, and what they did was they basically put her asleep until the other character dies. They tied the lives together. So she was in the show, but she was just
Talking about Once Upon a Time.
new.
Okay, I was about to say if it is, I'm stabbing.
No. It's Vampire Diaries.
I'm stabbing you.
That's fine. I don't care.
Okay.
But so Nina Dobrev left after like season 7. So there was a whole season and a half that they did without her because she didn't want to have anything to do with it, but it still had such a huge following. And then they tapered off into a spinoff, and then now they're doing another spinoff. But she was done. But they wanted to leave it open where she could come back. So that's what they did instead of killing her, because they knew killing her would never work because it would fuck over about 6 different storylines with different characters. What they did was there was a huge ass fight. All these witches were involved, and they tied her life to her friend's life. So as long as the friend was alive, she couldn't wake up.
Like
it was weird.
The whole
But they eventually
the whole Rick Grimes in the comic after the Negan War, he's a cripple. Negan took the bat to his knee, and he can't walk.
You know, that's probably what I was thinking of then.
So they could have him be the leader, but just, we reference Rick. We don't actually see Rick. Rick's doing things in the background. The problem is, the prime person to take over his spot would have been Carl. And they killed him. I wonder how pissed off AMC is that they just found out Andy Lincoln's leaving and having killed Carl. Just for a shock value. Yeah. Like, that's fucked up. But I guess Norman will be the one. Unless the cliffhanger at the end of season 8 was Maggie, Norman, or Daryl, and Jesus setting up to confront Rick about keeping Negan alive. Unless that confrontation kills Rick somehow. I don't know.
Or he becomes a zombie.
Rick?
Yeah.
He could.
I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen.
I don't think logically they should kill him, but that's just me. The other big celeb news, because I know we're going over.
Way over. By the way, we're past our time, Anonymous. We do stream this show every Tuesday night at 8 p.m.
It's the only consistent thing
Eastern
in our lives.
Standard Time over here in the United States. I know you said you're from Europe, so whatever that equals to you. We do appreciate you watching us tonight. Feel free to keep typing. We'll keep the show running as long as you're here.
We're like his equivalent of like night blogging right now.
Yeah. So keep chatting with us. We might end soon, but if you help us keep the conversation going, I don't see any problem going all night.
I do for editing reasons.
I mean, we can just play the outro.
Anyways,
the other big story that broke today was Roseanne. So anyone who knows Roseanne Barr knows she doesn't keep her fucking mouth shut. And she got herself in trouble today by comparing a former Obama aide to
a Muslim and a Jurassic Park character,
a Muslim terrorist and something from Planet of the Apes.
Yes, that's right, Planet of the Apes.
And they got a lot of backlash because apparently that woman's African American, which I couldn't tell by first picture.
Neither did I. And so Wanda Sykes immediately
quit
through Twitter, no less.
Yeah.
You don't piss Wanda Sykes off. I'm sorry, but she may not do much, but what she does do, she does it, and you just don't piss her off.
Well, I thought it was crazy. Something else.
Hey,
we got ourselves a sub. Or no, this is a
follow. Thank you, Anonymous Fox, for following us.
We're on easy street.
Following.
And look, there's your voice.
And it feels so sweet. 'Cause the world is but a treat. And you're on easy street.
I know, but if you do decide to sub, we do have some Gibby emotes, which is an ongoing gag for one of the people that host with us. He's not here tonight. He's
probably
normally
for the
drunk
best.
half the time, so we just put his picture on.
Half?
More than half. Yeah, I'll say 98% of the time.
Yeah, there we go.
He tries to get there by 9. Anyway, she went off on a rant about her.
Thank you.
It was actually only one tweet.
One tweet about her,
It was
and then
one, and
4 or 5 about Chelsea Clinton.
Well, I didn't see the Clinton ones weren't the problem. It
No,
was
it
that.
was
So
the
that
racist
blew
name,
up.
her name.
ABC called her repugnant and abhorrent. Like
Well, Sarah Gilbert responded first.
same thing, but ABC literally just was like,
fuck you.
And they
Which is
canceled.
dumb because you don't like. Here's my thing. ABC is owned by Disney. Don't you think if you're owned by Disney, it's probably not the smartest thing on the planet to tweet something that's potentially racist?
It depends who you're asking. If you ask Walt Disney, he probably agrees with you.
Yeah.
But not Walt Disney. I'm talking about the Disney that Disney's trying to create.
Well, it's true. At the same, because they suspended.
The family friendly.
Yes.
They got backed into a corner because they suspended an ESPN analyst for saying something racist about white people. So immediately, that was the first example everybody went to. Like, you suspended her, but you're letting her film, and then they canceled. So now everybody's like up in arms about like, well, why is Bill Maher still allowed to be on TV? Why is Whoopi Goldberg still allowed
Because
to be on TV?
they aren't ABC. Is Whoopi Goldberg ABC?
Is The View?
The View was on ABC.
Is it? I didn't think it was on
It's
ABC. I thought it
ABC.
was a different one.
I honestly don't know where The View goes.
But at the end of the day, The View, the whole point of The View, Whoopi Goldberg is not necessarily racist. The whole point of The View is they're using women to create topics to talk about.
Oh, no, I agree. I think it's a little
It's not
over-exaggerated.
completely blatantly racist.
Yes.
But that's also how talk shows go. You have 4 people,
Yes.
all with conflicting views, but yet they still all seamlessly agree at the end.
Roseanne, on the other hand, was just blatantly racist.
But the problem with Roseanne is they knew.
yeah, I know.
Like, th-
Yeah.
this
No,
is
I know.
Not, this isn't something out of
I
the
know.
ordinary for her. And now you've just decided that now I'm going to draw that line?
But I think the problem is because with the stuff that she said before, it's not something where she was in their light still. Do you understand
True.
what I mean? Like
They've already
before,
renewed
it had
her
been
and-
years ago. You know what I mean? So she wasn't necessarily a product of ABC anymore at that point.
Yeah.
Now she's actually making the money. She's in their spotlight, and she's relevant for them at that point in time.
And her contract might actually have a clause, something
Well,
along those
It
lines.
could.
It's estimated right now that Disney stands to lose $100 million because it can't just cancel.
Canceling, yeah.
Because they started shooting season 2.
But
Who
100
knows what's in her contract?
But here's the
what's in
thing:
all their contracts.
$100 million to them is like $40 to us.
They still
but
get
that's-
angry.
They
No,
get
they still
angry.
The
They get
company's
angry.
losing money.
They-
I
they
understand
Doesn't
that.
matter. It doesn't matter how much money they're losing.
But
they
I
still
don't
get
know
angry.
how much they're going to lose necessarily if she broke contract. If we don't know what's in her contract.
Could be a
So
morale
she might get fucked.
clause. Yeah.
She might be fucked over at this point.
Just like Twitch has that. There's
Morale clause.
you're on the Twitch streamers thing
Yep.
that I added you. There's someone that was just like, hey, I'm Twitch partner, Twitch Prime, and then on that group he was like, I was smoking some playing Overwatch today. And it's just like, if you read the contract, Twitch can ban you. They
For
can
doing that.
unpartner you because you're promoting
Illegal
use
substances,
of
yeah.
substances. So why are you doing shit like that? And
Because
there
people-
might be a clause in Roseanne's contract along those lines.
And some people just don't care, or some people don't think things are going to happen
don't
the way
read
that they are.
They don't read their
Well, it's
contract.
not even just that. It's just that they don't think that the consequences of their actions are actually going to come about of anything.
No, you guys are spot on with the whole contract thing. But the chain reaction from it split social media, which I
Oh,
was
yeah.
shocked.
That's
Well,
that's
because-
every social outbreak.
Well, but here's
though.
the thing. It's because there were so many people who were upset that the show got canceled. But then there were people who were upset that she made these remarks, and then there are people who were kind of in between.
I don't
because-
honestly give a shit.
I don't care. I
Like,
didn't never really. I never
I
really.
watched
It's a
it,
show
but-
that I don't care about. It's
It
an
never
actor
really-
that I don't care about.
it
on
had
a network that I
no-
don't really watch.
It had no difference on my life. I don't think she maybe should. I personally don't think she should have said something as blatantly racist as she did, because there's just Hollywood is just under such fucking fire right now for so many different reasons that everyone is under a microscope, and she should have known something was going to happen.
But at the same time, is that fair? Because I mean, she went. I fucking keep her. She went and said it was a joke immediately after.
but there's a
There are some comedians out there that
are
are
really-
really bad, and she's
And I
known
agree.
for being bad.
which is fine, and I agree with that. But that doesn't.
That's
But that
That's
doesn't.
a very good point.
But at the same point, that doesn't necessarily mean that those comedians are. But you have to think about it. You have to think about it from this point of view. We
The
get
camera
washed
went
out.
weird. Yeah.
So you have to think about it from this point of view. Roseanne was supposed to be representing a company that stands for family values. Most of those she was.
But they
Whether
built
you-
the show based around her Trump values.
But
Yeah.
you have to understand it. But in the show, with all the controversies, at the end of the day, she still was a mildly decent person. Most of these comedians, they don't stand for something family value based.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
but think about now. But let me finish. Most of those comedians don't stand for a company like ABC or Disney or something like that. I'm not saying it makes their actions any better, but the reason her actions are being scrutinized more than others is because of who she's supposed to be representing.
Well, yes, but do you think it's... Well, now that she went out and she said something stupid in one tweet, she caused 200 people to lose their jobs. Do you think it was an extreme... Well, obviously you can't fire her and still have the show go on because the show's fucking called Roseanne.
Yeah.
But do you think maybe she should have been suspended? Maybe she should have been fined?
No, because the outrage of her not getting her not getting a more extreme consequence, or there's something not happening immediately, would have probably been worse than them canceling the show.
You have a freedom of speech, though. That's the devil advocate.
Not when you're hired by a company.
But it wasn't slander against the company.
No, but at the end of
everything, like when it comes to like the interviews and stuff on DVDs, it says the views of the actor never represent the company.
Again, it all comes down to what was in her contract. We don't know the image she was supposed to be portraying.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, she's doing it to the T.
But I'm saying, but how do you? But do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
No, I understand. There could be a morality clause that says you can't do it, but I can guarantee you that most of those handbooks and those contracts are so ambiguous. It's really up for interpretation. And I don't know if the backlash against her comment, which was stupid, I don't want to get that lost. I'm not defending their comment, but she still has the right to say what she wants,
but
even if it's fucking stupid.
I also think that the problem with this comment is it was so just blatantly out of nowhere. Because this woman, why was this woman brought up?
Piggybacking off of Trump, which is a big mistake on the
the woman
level.
or Roseanne?
Roseanne. She's piggybacking off of the conspiracy theories that Trump said about the Obama aides spying on him during his campaign, and she was one of the aides at the time. So she's piggybacking off that, and just happened to say something dumber than Trump.
I think in ABC's mind, it was, this could go bad fast, and we need to do something that's going to show that we won't let this happen no matter what. I think they were making an example out of her.
But if they kept her, would have actually hurt the brand.
Or they realized that they ran out of TV slots for the fall, and they were just like, we need to cut something. Perfect excuse to cut Roseanne.
I think they might.
That's just
I think they were trying to make an example out of it.
There was 21 million people who tuned into her debut.
Yeah, but the numbers
it dropped to 12.
Plummeted.
12's still high.
But it still wasn't as bad
compared to the shows that we like to watch.
12 is like up. That's.
But there's also
Goldberg level.
But there's also other things that they can do. Like they have other options. I think they were trying to make an example out of her.
But
I don't think so.
That 12 million that we're watching and stayed faithful, and you just alienated them. They're the same 12 million that lost their shit when Tim Allen's thing got canceled and went to Fox. So I completely agree. I don't think it made sense to fire her. Well, I don't think it makes sense to fire her because, again, it impacted 200 other people, which I think is completely unfair.
Yeah. They
should have suspended her or fined her to the point where most of next season she was essentially working for free for restitution. But at the same time, could they have legally done that? So
or at the same time, what precedent does that show?
It's still punishment.
It's still punishment,
It's
but
going to hurt your pocketbook because
just like players get fined in professional sports for doing something unsportsmanlike conduct.
Kneeling is going to be a fine.
See, no, I don't.
It is a form of.
Don't get me started on the kneeling thing.
I think it's bullshit. They have every right to express. It comes down. It's the other side of the coin, though. If you think about it, them kneeling is what is her freedom of speech. It's the other side of the coin.
But not necessarily freedom of speech. In my opinion, they're breaking the the right to protest.
Exactly. And by taking away Roseanne,
is a form of free speech.
Yeah. And Roseanne Barr being fired for what she said. As stupid as I want to make that very clear, it was a stupid fucking statement to be someone of that public eye and say something like that. But she has every right to say it.
Yeah. Use like Trump, yes.
No, we don't.
I find
not us, Roseanne. He's referring to Roseanne. He's following the conversation with us.
Yes, she's a huge. She was a Trump supporter through the whole thing.
He or she, I don't know. Are you a guy or a girl? We don't. It's anonymous Fox. I don't want to misgender you. I want you to feel like you're friends with all of us here.
We'll just call you it.
That's insensitive. We're not going to assume your gender. It's fine.
Or they.
But
they's always a good one.
I agree that every NFL player has the right to kneel during the anthem. There have been military people who have said, you know what, that's why I fight. It gives you that ability to do it.
And that's my thing, is if the military people, the people that they are technically protesting against and or for, are sitting there saying, this is what I fought for. I fought for your right to have this freedom.
Yep.
This is just, I swear to God, I fucking hate Goodall for this. He is just trying to please Trump because Trump trashed the shit out of him.
Hey, thank you.
But at the same time, if the kneeling bothered you so much that as you're recording your product, don't record them. The protest is only
have
then
the option
visually
of-
seen
I
in
know.
the stadium.
I agree.
Yeah, you have the option.
This is just, this is.
But now with the whole kneeling thing, it's now code of conduct in the NFL that you have to stand.
This, in my opinion, this is just Roger Goodall trying to protect his investments. It's not about him caring about who he
It's
actually is
protecting
playing
the core demographic of the NFL.
It's protecting his pockets. I'm sorry, it is.
The core demographic of the NFL are pretty much the guys that voted
I know,
for.
I know,
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. The problem is he does not give a fuck about the people that are playing for him. He cares about the people that are putting money in his pockets.
Yes.
Oh yeah, but that's every business.
And I understand that, but at the same time, what are you going to do if you don't have anyone playing for you to put that money in your fucking pockets?
Now that'd be a hell of a protest.
Yeah.
I don't believe in what you're doing, so I'm not playing.
Which is actually the point that I always love bringing up. I have a friend who's a libertarian, and we had this conversation 2 years ago when I was working at ShopRite. It was like, if you don't like your job, you always have the option to go into another job.
New Jersey's an at-will state.
Yeah, you have the choice of leaving your employer if you don't like the wage, and you can go to a competitor and ask for more money. And I agree with that sentiment? No. But at the same time, yes, I agree with it. If you don't like the code of conduct that the NFL is now holding, don't play.
You'll
If
have
all
it.
these players stop,
this is why
there's no NFL
this
season
is why
next
I
year.
think
There's
Vince
no NFL
McMahon
season.
is taking the opportunities taking, because the more Roger Goodall tries to enforce his rights and his will and what he wants on these players, the more he's gonna piss them off, and the more they're gonna fucking
They
leave.
pay them way too much money.
Oh.
If someone
Vince
hands me
McMahon has a lot of fucking money
if
too.
someone hands me $23 million to
You know
sit
what?
on
I'm
a
sorry.
bench as a second or
But
third
at the same
string,
time,
I'm taking
that, you know what? Yeah, they
I'm
do
money.
make a lot of money. But do you know how much of that money they actually give back, though?
Well, the only problem with Vince McMahon trying to finance those players is he's financing all teams in the XFL. The NFL franchise their teams. That's why they can pay their players. that
But
much.
who knows when
he
if
might.
that.
He might franchise
Because
it
there
out.
are people who want to do that. Like, take a look at the
As a
Panthers.
venture.
Take a look at the Panthers. The Panthers had multiple offers out there, and I probably some better than what they were given. But because they wanted them to stay in Carolina, they took the best offer for Carolina. I am sure that there's plenty of rich old white dudes out there that want their own fucking football team. and
Vegas
they'll
has
do-
been
also-
lobbying for a team for
Yes.
years.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things, though. It's like, it's a cash cow.
But
I throw
But-
$50 million into this, but at the end of the season, you're going to make $100 million.
But you also have to think about it this way. Think about the ground that isn't covered in this fucking country for a sport team in general, right? Think about how many places or how
There's
many.
a lot of baseball teams out there.
But baseball, okay,
Think
baseball.
about
But
baseball.
football, there's at least what, 32 teams?
Yep.
32 teams.
And most of those teams have
And they're-
multiple teams in one state.
There's like 4 right in our area.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is think about how much, like, if Vince McMahon, there's a rugby football team. They're a rugby football team. If Vince
Sorry.
McMahon,
Our football is American
football. So not
Yeah,
not the- yeah.
almost said. I
Where were
almost
you going with
smacked
yours?
you.
Foot fairies.
I'm smacking you.
I don't like soccer, so.
We're talking about
what's
American
wrong?
football with Tom Brady.
So
Oh,
listen,
you-
but my thing is
don't
Vince,
miss
if
football.
Vince McMahon really wanted to bring in, if Vince McMahon wanted to do it so where he didn't have to pay for it, there's so much ground for him to expand out to
Oh.
places that don't have a team right now.
I get the question. So the Extreme Football League?
I think they're
X-
just going
It's
with
just
the
X
initials.
right
Yeah,
now.
it's just X. So Vince McMahon, the owner of
he
WWE,
he patented it,
he
right?
said that
He
what,
re-upped the
I'm
Yeah.
just going to create my own football league.
Well, we don't know what's
At
going
the
on with
time
it right now.
Explaining this to our viewer here, he's like, I don't.
Well, the one
So,
rule that
yeah.
sticks out during the press conference Vince did, the first year at least, it's all under his control.
Yes.
Yeah.
The second year they could open to franchising.
But that's-
he
that's-
was not open. He wants full control that first year
But
to set the ground.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like if he really wants to open this up to franchising, he has so much ground to work with because there are so many places in this damn country for football that don't have a team. He has so many places where he could go in there. He could build the stadium, they could build the stadium. They could establish a team and a following because think about it: North Dakota, South Dakota, fucking half the middle, literally almost the entire middle section of the United States has nothing.
The first year,
Nothing.
The first year he'll most likely piggyback off NFL stadiums because he
Yeah.
is starting the season the week before Super Bowl or the week after Super Bowl. He's picking up football when football stops.
Okay.
Oh, that's a very smart move.
Yeah.
That's a very smart
Because people still want more.
Yep. Unless it's in an arena, they don't give a fuck about the arena football.
Well, that's
move.
because
I love arena football, though.
We're the
Honestly,
champions at it for like
yeah,
10 fucking years.
Yeah,
We are?
Yeah, we
The
won the
soul
last.
keeps winning.
Dope.
We won the last 2 years. The previous year there was a lockout, and the year before that we won.
Yeah.
Like
the
we're
soul's
always
fucking
win.
ridiculous.
I think it's because we pour so much money into our talent pool that no other team has.
It's John
And
Bon
we just-
Jovi too,
I don't know.
right?
We just pump money into our
I
arena
think
football.
if Vince McMahon really wants to take this off the ground and get it going and get people behind it, he should franchise. As much as I don't want,
I think he will. I think
I-
he'll down the line.
he will.
because he has so much room to grow due to the fact that there are so many places who would love their own team to rally behind.
I mean, how many plays? Like, you can't really put a football team
Shit,
in the middle of nowhere,
no, but-
Idaho.
but they
Ask
not-
Frank.
not
Frank knows all
necessarily.
about
No, but
that.
that's not
From
necessarily
Iowa.
true.
Don't tell him he's from
Ooh.
Idaho.
But that's not
Hi,
necessarily
Frank, you're
true.
from Ohio.
Because
Oh,
think
let's-
about all those people who have to find another team because there's nothing around them. Shit, New Jersey doesn't actually technically have a team. We have Philadelphia and we have New York.
Wait, where's he from?
Think about that.
Iowa. So
What did I
technically,
what did I say?
Idaho.
Idaho. And that is a common mistake that pisses people from Iowa off.
But like, think about it. Like New Jersey, technically, we don't have our own team. We take Philadelphia or we take New York.
Well, it's the same with Iowa. They are split between the
Yes.
Vikings and the Green Bay
So,
Packers.
but could you imagine if they said,
And
"Fuck this,
Kansas
we're gonna
City.
give you your own team to stand behind"?
I mean,
It could happen. I mean, the first thing he did the first year he did the XFL, the only year, he opened a team in Vegas,
Yeah.
and that was his best team.
But that's what I'm saying. I think he has so much room. He could because the NFL is in such controversy right now. I think before when he tried this, the controversy wasn't there. People were still behind them. But because they are losing so much ground with what they're doing and the way they're enforcing all this bullshit, he could have a leg to stand on to make people happy with because it wouldn't be the shit that it is now.
to be honest, the real reason why it failed the first time, he tried to make it more WWE.
He integrated it.
more than football.
Yep.
If
This time
wanted
it's
it-
If he's
two
basically,
entities.
if he literally says, "All right, here you go. Here's the football league that you guys had before, but Roger Goodall shit all over and fucked up. Here, have it back." How many people would flock? How
just
many?
change a few of the rules that piss
But
people off.
that's what I'm saying. There's so many rules that are stupid as fuck anymore. Roger Goodall is doing so much, and it's all in protection of his investment. He does not care about the league. He does not care about the fans. All he wants is the money. He is fucking this entire league up, and people unanimously fucking agree about this because nobody likes this man anymore. No one likes him.
Well, it's part him and it's part the owners, right? Because
Well,
the owners have to ultimately
it
vote. And he just
depends.
kind of just oversees it.
Not necessarily.
He'll
because,
present the idea, but then they vote on it.
yeah, but I'm also pretty sure that the owners can be forced out.
They could be, but
So-
again, I think it's by a voter.
But think about it. If everyone
Or
else,
owner
so
vote.
what if a couple owners don't want to do it? Like you it's kind of like
It's a bully
He's
club.
a bully.
It's-
Yes.
The entire
yes.
system's a bully system.
Yep.
It's like, all right, well, the guy from Philadelphia's not agreeing with us, so
Fuck
we need to
him.
get rid of
We're
him.
gonna, the only team that they probably cannot do that with, and that's because to this day
Jared
they are
Jones.
they are still not owned by a singular person, is the fucking Green Bay Packers. Because
yeah.
to this day,
It's a group.
no, it's
right?
owned by the city of Green Bay. The city of Green Bay to
And they
this
hate
day
that.
still owns the team. They refuse to franchise out to a single person. They are owned by the entire city
why
of
they're
Green
so
Bay.
bad.
I
That
just thought you were going to say Jerry Jones because he's the crypt keeper.
Aaron Rodgers is getting kind of old, and I don't think they can pump any more steroids
I'm
into
Jerry
that
Jones,
dude.
and I've owned Dallas Cowboys
But-
since the NFL started.
But well, Jerry Jones is.
Oh,
But yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. The city of Green Bay is the only team where he can get potentially fucked over by.
true. Well, I think we gave Vince McMahon way too much stuff our time tonight on this.
Fuck
show.
Again,
him.
WWE, if you want to add me as a writer, you can always find me at cheever212@gmail.com. You can always find me on Twitter at cheever212. My Discord is
I don't think
Cheever.
he actually checks
my,
them.
My Skype is Cheever,
Birth
but it's
certificate
yeah,
says Cheever,
I'm like the Cher, but a male version.
but with more letters.
Yeah. I find it's Cheever. It just rolls off
Yeah,
the tongue.
I
It
threw an
adds, it's like
ED in
champagne.
there.
Yeah, it's like champagne. It's just Cheever.
And on that note,
That was his plugs. What do you got going on?
nothing.
Couldn't even take like pranks or something.
What does Frank do with Instagram?
Frank does the
Or
Twitter.
no, because you know what? He offered me up to Ben Roethlisberger. No.
Did he?
Yes.
Did Big Ben say no?
Do you think he answered?
No, he doesn't take no. Ben Roethlisberger does
Doesn't know
not
what the
take
word
I'm
means.
sorry, you mean Ben rapes little girls? Yeah.
All right, follow us on Twitter at the Dace Man Show. Follow me on Twitter at the Dace Man. You know, you can plug your Twitter.
I don't use it.
Whatever.
Neither do I, and I still plug the shit out of it.
Yeah, follow our Instagram. We posted something today at the Dace Man Show. Like us on Facebook.
You got back into Instagram.
I just posted that we were going to be on tonight. Thank you for stopping in. We appreciate the view. We'll be back here next week at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/DaceManFriends. But if you're watching here, go over and like us on Facebook.com/The Dace Man Show. If you're watching on Facebook and we can't see your comments, which usually happens, come on over to twitch.tv/DaceManFriends. Give us a heart. Subscribe if you dare.
Also, we got some side projects coming up.
Hopefully.
And I'm reading the script tomorrow.
Cool.
And I'm actually having someone review it with me. So the script, we're working on hopefully a movie. Is it going to be a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be a movie. I'm reading the script tomorrow for the first time, editing it up. So if you follow us on Facebook, you'll get some sneak peeks of what's going on.
Yep. So stay tuned for that. We have a couple series that are going to be back in the pipeline. I believe the Franks are getting together to do their thing.
Ooh, I'm excited about the Franks. The Franks are always good.
I don't know what kind of format it's going to be. I don't know if it's a podcast. I don't know if it's a series.
From what they were saying,
Sounded like a
spoiler
podcast.
alert, weekly podcast.
Also, I've been in talks with Mr. Bumpadre
Ooh.
to bring back another season of Musically Challenged. I just have to record the songs.
When are we gonna do for real?
We can do another for real. We've got a couple nerds. We've got all kinds of ideas out there.
Maybe if you would
I mean,
actually
talk
let
about
us
the
come
story.
over.
We got a couple ideas out there.
Everyone yell at Dace to actually want to do something.
Well, that's not the issue.
Man.
That's not the issue. I'm the issue.
No, it's a little of me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Both of us.
A little bit. No, lately it's been more him.
yeah, we've got other things in the pipeline with Nerd, For Real Movie Club. We want to bring back the Franks for Everything. Musically Challenged. I'll give you a spoiler alert. It'll be a country album this time.
I miss Bumpadre.
And maybe if I corner Bumpadre to do Musically Challenged, I can get him to do Faculty Man. And other things to come.
I miss Bumpadre.
So anyway, for the few... Oh, I didn't set up the fucking thing. Never mind.
Oh no!
Stall!
Get the outro.
Wait.
Stall!
So I hate stalling. So.
All right, there we go.
Oh.
For the few.
For the prom.
For the chicken.
Thank you. For the brown, for the Dace Tag,